Hey everyone, it's Justin from Number Crunch Nerds. Welcome to this IRMAA Calculator 2026 Mega Update. I am so excited because the Number Crunch Nerds IRMAA Surcharge Calculator is finally complete. I have listened to all of your suggestions and all of your feedback, and I have implemented all of it in this update. This is the one. This is the IRMAA Calculator that incorporates everything that we need to know to minimize our IRMAA burden as we get into retirement while simultaneously optimizing our annual Roth IRA conversions. So let's start going through the calculator and looking at what all of the updates are. Starting right here, number of people subject to IRMAA. This is now a toggle where you can enter 0, 1, or 2. So for example, a married filing joint couple both under the age of 65 would enter 0 for any particular year where that applied. Once the first spouse turns 65 and becomes eligible for Medicare, then we would enter a 1 for that. When you're both eligible for Medicare, we would enter a 2. And then further along in the calculator, when you're testing widow's penalty, we would change it back to a 1. Now, here's the big ticket item right here that I know so many people were asking about. We now have the ability to toggle on and off the Part B base from the calculation. You can now calculate the annual cost of IRMAA either including the Part B base or excluding it, just based on toggling these items to yes or no as you prefer. That's a big one. I know a lot of folks were having trouble with that Part B base. We have got that item resolved as of today. Then another item folks have been asking about. They said, well, some of us are not subject to Part D, or we're not taking Part D. Therefore, we don't want to include Part D in the calculation. And so now we have a toggle switch for that. You can either include the surcharge for Part D, or you can exclude it simply by toggling the items in this row to yes or no. So going right down here to the results calculation, Part B base per person per month, this will be 0 if row 8 is toggled to N. So going back up here, you can see that this is the choice to include the Part B base right here. Right now it is toggled to Y. I'm going to go ahead and change that to N and hit enter on my keyboard, and you can see now that the Part B base has been excluded from the calculation. Right here, Part B surcharge per person per month, this will be 0 if row 19 is 1. Let's take a look at row 19. Remember, this says, what IRMAA bracket am I currently in? If your MAGI is low enough for any particular year, then you will be in the lowest IRMAA bracket anyway. And when you are in the first IRMAA bracket, the surcharge for Part B and for Part D is 0, and that's why both of these are currently 0 in this particular column. Now, on the other hand, let's say we're looking at the 2026 column, and I go down here. Right now, we have the Part B base toggled on. We have the Part B surcharge calculating because we are currently in the 4th IRMAA bracket, and we also have the Part D surcharge calculating for 2 reasons. One, because we're in the 4th IRMAA bracket, and number 2, because we have the toggle switch for including Part D marked as a yes. However, if I go into this cell right here and I change that to a no and hit enter on my keyboard, it will no longer calculate the Part D surcharge regardless of what bracket I'm in. And that will work for folks who are not taking Part D. So with all of those new toggle switches in mind, we now have the ability to plan appropriately for IRMAA. For 1 spouse eligible for Medicare, 2 spouses eligible for Medicare, 1 spouse only eligible for Medicare and widow's penalty. Right down here, inclusion of the Part B base or exclusion, just depending on your preference. And then right down here, inclusion or exclusion of the Part D surcharge, just depending on your preference. If you are already a member of the Personal Tax Planning Template Program, the IRMAA Calculator 2026 Mega Updated version is included with your membership. You can simply log in and download the brand new calculator along with a detailed line-by-line instructional video going through how every line relates to each other. And if you are not already a member, the Personal Tax Planning Template Program is available for purchase at the link in the the description below this video. My personal tax planning template program is arguably the most comprehensive and accessible individual income tax training program on the market in the United States today. If you're new to the channel and want to learn more about planning for retirement in detail, not just talking about it, but by the numbers, check out the links in the description below this video, or just search on YouTube for Number Crunch Nerds Roth IRA Conversions.